I'm self-employed. Any money we put away, I've earned it. I turn to my wife, sitting across the table at night, and we have to do our own budget. We don't have anybody to do our budget. We don't have budget analysts, and we don't have people up at the State House who will come to my house and figure out when the state wants more money, where I have to fix my budget in order to pay for it, over and over and over again. When the gas tax went up, it was for the roads and bridges. Did the roads and bridges get fixed? No, they didn't. Every time it's come for the state to come to me to ask for money, we have to give it or go to jail. When it comes to my budget, there's no one there. We have to fix it. We have to do with less. The state never does it. I'm an ex-teacher. Years ago, during busing, I was teaching in the heart of Roxbury at the William Monroe Trotter School when AIDS first came in. And they said, the schools are going to be decimated unless we have aides to come in to help the teachers. And I watched the teachers sitting in the back of the room while the aides taught the classes.
Mr. Paley, do you have a question?
Yes, I do. And I'll get to it right now. I want to know why the coalition for our communities should not be the coalition for their communities. The municipal workers, the teachers, the people who are getting all of this money. That's the coalition. It's not the coalition for our communities, because our communities aren't getting anything. They're the ones paying. It's the coalition for their communities.
Question, please.
I want to know if the coalition for their communities will come to my house and figure out how I'm going to have to keep paying.
Shannon, I think
it was a rhetorical question. I have no idea how they named the group. But the fact is, you're absolutely right. You were a school teacher. You were a public employee at one point in time. Did you think that you had an easy job teaching in the schools in Roxbury? Was that an easy job?
No, it was a very difficult job.
Okay. You did a difficult job.
Because of busing, there were days when we came out of school, we didn't know whether we were going to be drawn down on and shot.
My mother used to teach in the schools in Roxbury, and she used to talk to me about what it was like being in that community, very, very poor community. So I applaud you, a public servant who was paid by public taxes. I think that what you did was a great service to the children of Boston, to the children of Roxbury, and to all of us as citizens here in this Commonwealth. I do not disagree that times aren't tough right now. But the point is that when you hear the proponents say that this cut will only get us to where we were, 10 years ago in terms of the state budget, the average house in 2000 in Massachusetts, and again, you don't have to answer me anymore, I don't want to debate anymore, I'm going to answer your question now. The average house in Massachusetts cost, I looked this figure up, I remember, about $215,000 or $162,000, $166,000 in 2000. In 2008, it's $315,000. Healthcare in 1/4 this past year has gone up. The state budget goes up just like your budget too. So the fact is, there have been real attempts, I believe, on the part of state government. Right now, they're grappling with cuts. Governor Patrick is looking now at ways to cut the budget. I applaud some of the work that Alan Lebovich is doing at the Turnpike. I think making mostly symbolic cuts at the T, cutting some of the toll takers and trying to make efficiencies there. But the bottom line is that this is a tough time. I don't doubt that you are struggling, and that many people in this room are struggling too. But the point is that this is not going to end your struggle. If you are struggling as much as you're saying right now, even if you get that average, I don't think $3,600 is going to change that struggle. It might make things easy for a little while, but what it will do is it will harm the roads and bridges. It will harm the kids. Maybe you don't have kids anymore. It will harm the kids who need to go to school.
I want to just comment on a couple things that were said by Shannon.
this roads and bridges and so forth, one of the stories I hear all the time, and I'll bet a lot of people in this room have heard them as well, in the towns and in the state, where there is apparently intentional neglect of maintenance. And it's been in Wayland and in my town, a town that is relatively well run as towns go, a lot of people paying attention to the budget more than in some towns. And yet, I have heard over and over again from people in my towns where they intentionally neglect school buildings so they can line up and get in on that gravy train of a brand new high school, which we have so far managed to resist in my town, but their threat is always there. And I go into the town hall in Wayland, a fairly nice community. It's similar to Weymouth, and they haven't painted the trim. They finally cut up on it in the last year. For years, the paint job was worse than my house before I painted it. I mean, it was a disgrace. They were letting windows rot in a town that has plenty of money to keep these things under repair. But they don't, so they can line up for the big money. And there's a lot of building lobbies that are involved in this because they want these big, lucrative construction projects. One other point that I want to point out, businesses in this state, and I have to say, Shannon, that I think what you said was a little bit insulting to refer to the businesses that you named as the important businesses in Massachusetts. What they are is the businesses that are politically connected, which by and large profit from high government spending. They do business with the state. I think the important businesses in this state are the small businesses that are not profiting from government, that have to earn an honest dollar, support their families, are paying huge taxes, huge health care premiums, and all kinds of high expenses to make ends meet. They don't benefit from the gravy train of big government. They are hurt by it, and they're leaving the state when they can. We need to keep these people here, and we need to attract them here, because that's where the real future is. And also to say that people don't invest. People would spend their $3,700 on investment.
I just was quoting from your website.
Well, you said, yeah, and you said that those people would invest in high technology or a new business. Do you think people are that stupid? Do you think only people who invest for the government know how to invest money? People invest all the time in businesses. They give it to their brokers to invest for them. They start their own business, and they make some darn good investments in many cases. I think it's very insulting to think that people won't make smart investments with their money. Many of them will.